It probably in about 20 or 30 years, I really do think that India is going to overtake China as like a powerhouse, you know? They've put a lot of effort into planning for their insane population growth. 2030 India world superpower, let's go. Hey, whoa, hold on. They're still being ruled by a Hindu nationalist fascist, okay? Let's calm it down, okay? I'll celebrate their entrance as a, you know, into the field of world superpowers when that's not the case. In 20 to 30 years, India will be unlivable because of climate change. All right, look. All I'm saying is, if you live in India, you're probably already used to high temperatures and high humidity, all right? All I'm saying is, they're strong. They're strong and they're ready. Us weak, frail, pasty Americans, we get a little category 5 on the East Coast. Everyone shits their britches. Over there, have you eaten their food? Indian people are just better than us. They're just stronger.
है जिसकी बहुत कम चर्चा करी जाती है कि कैसे हमारे शहरों की हालत बहुत खराब है। लेकिन कैसा लगेगा सुनकर अगर मैं आपसे कहूं दोस्तों, इन सभी प्रॉब्लम्स का एक बड़ा सिंपल सॉल्यूशन है, गाड़ियों को बैन करना। कुछ भी मजाक नहीं कर रहा ये।
That's so true. That's also how I react when I hear about banning cars. Oh man. The idea of like Indian urbanists circle jerking over the Netherlands cycling paths just the way that we do is so funny to me, you know? The idea that like all over the world, you know, like there's some like Bangladeshi guy with a degree in civil engineering who just like looks at Google image you know, like Google Map Street View run-throughs of the Netherlands and just goes like, it has their hand up against the monitor, you know? The Dutch redemption arc is wholly undeserved, Lamau. Well, the reason that the Dutch got into their cycling is because cycling infrastructure is much cheaper than car infrastructure, and they need that money for shoe polish to do blackface for their daily national celebration. So, like, the only like they just did this because they were broke, basically. It's not. It wasn't like an ideological thing. What is it called? Zwarte Piet is what it's called. I don't know. I don't know why they call it that. I don't know what it's about. It looks like this. It's very expensive. Look at these outfits, you know? They can't afford car infrastructure. Zwarte means black? Okay. Yeah, honestly, I think having a gluttony of resources like the US did incentivize institutions to be super lazy and inefficient about them. Well, I mean, streets cost a lot to build. They cost just as much to maintain. They actually cost more to maintain than to build. If you think about it, when a lot of streets and roads are initially built, when cities are being laid down or expanded, you're working with like an open canvas. You're literally on a big dirt field, and it's like, all right, gonna build the road. And that's expensive, you know, costs millions of dollars for every mile, but, you know, you're in the middle of nowhere. Now imagine how expensive it is to repair like a 30-year-old road that's in the middle of a downtown area of a urban metropolis. It's like, whoa, you're not in the middle of nowhere anymore. Now you need like a ton of people to redirect traffic, and you need to do this piecemeal, and there's like a million pipes underneath you and allowances you got to make, and da-da-da-da. It's actually way more expensive to maintain. In a lot of ways, heavy car infrastructure is kind of like a trap, you know? You invest in it early when your city has a lot of startup money. The federal government will, like, you know, subsidize some stuff for development. But then the subsidies run dry, and the city is now on the hook for maintaining, like, literally billions of dollars of infrastructure that'll have to be replaced about every 30 years. Now, bike infrastructure in comparison costs like unimaginably less, you know, like a 50th of what car infrastructure does across like a comparable area. It's like nothing. Also, you barely have to maintain bike infrastructure because bikes don't tear up the road that much, as it turns out, you know. Even your little peeling drift kings with their 12-speed mountain bicycles aren't actually doing much damage to concrete and asphalt. I recently talked with a foreman that was setting up over a mile of bike lane. It cost like $1 million, which was pretty cheap. That's got to be a good bike lane, though, for $1 million over a mile. In much of America, a bike lane is when they paint a green line on one side of the road, and the experience of biking is hoping that a car slightly in front of you doesn't peel right through your lane and make you T-bone them at 12 miles an hour. That is the experience of bicycling. It's not just green, it's a white line. Yeah, Seattle has some good stuff. Hold on, Seattle bike lanes. You want protected bike lanes. That's what you want. If you have protected bike lanes, it's a lot better. Here you go. This right here, this is like American gold standard. This is up on the hill, near the Seattle College, I'm pretty sure. This is really good. I admit I do find the vibrant green paint to be a little bit obnoxious to look at, personally. I think it's kind of ugly, but in terms of safety, look at this. You've got a whole bar protecting them. That's really good. That's nice. Vaush, do you ride a bike? I do not ride a bike. I've always thought about it, and it would be a good way to get exercise. I've given it serious consideration. I kind of do want to, you know, at least for some stuff. This isn't downtown. They reserved a lot of space for it, but it is kind of unfortunate how hilly Seattle is. Also, these stupid little bollards instead of having like an actual barrier. Electric bikes are super fun. Well, yeah, you're not getting as much exercise then, of course. Better than nothing? Yeah, no, it's okay. Seattle's definitely not the worst city for bikes. Not even close. You know, not even remotely close. Los Angeles, man. Whew. God damn. Yeah, this is what I mean by hoping you don't get cut off by a car taking a right. A lot of bike lanes will literally just be like, they give you a little strip on the sides. But what this means is that if this silver car wants to take a right, like, what you're supposed to do as a driver is you're supposed to check to your right rear view mirror, side mirror, whatever, for any bikes behind you. Then you move into the bike lane for like 200 feet before you take a right, and then you take a right. Because that way you're getting as close as you can to the curb. But what a lot of people do is they just fucking zoom. Also, having the parking on the other side means that, like, if you want to park or get out, you know, it's a whole thing. They don't invest enough. It's cheap. Give cyclists explosive vests with deadman switches to incentivize drivers to be careful. No, I agree, yeah. All bicyclists should just have their thumb on a button that if they let go, they instantly explode like 20 pounds of Semtex strapped around them. Shrapnel, too. Just make it everyone's problem. Couldn't they use the parking lane as protection? You mean, couldn't the parking lane have the bike lane to its right? Why, yes, it could. Wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't it be neat if the car's parked here and the bike lane was here right against the sidewalk? I mean, that's done in places. It's not impossible. Car turning right still hits bike. Well, yeah, that's an unsolvable problem unless you have the bike in the middle of the lane, but, you know. Solves one problem, not all problems. That'd be more dangerous because it'd be a blind turn the bike lane. No, you don't allow parking up to the turn. You don't, like, not right up to the turn. I've seen it done before. Maybe I'm not describing it properly. It can be done. It can be done. It's, but yes, obviously safety is critical. Okay, sorry. We kind of got lost a little bit in the urbanism forest, as we often do.